The final round of the inaugural FIA World Rallycross Championship has arrived, and we've travelled all the way to Argentina for what promises to be a spectacular finale to the year. Three teams and 6 drivers will go all out to win the Teams Championship. One mistake could prove to be the undoing of a season's worth of hard-won points. VW Markland have peaked at just the right time. For the first time this year, they topped the team standings after the last round in Turkey.
I think it's not the easy race for us. We're still leading only for 4 points, so it's totally nothing. I think both of us need to do a really good race to make it happen.
Yeah, it will be just to go all in and do as good results as possible.
Andreas Bakker took his second and Fordo MSE's third victory of the season last time out in Turkey, but both drivers will need to be on form here if they are to win.
I want to win, it's so simple it is, and if I don't want to win, I'm not going to be here. So I'm here to win and do my best. Hopefully end the season with a big smile.
We've done already a really good job this year, and we can try to do better.
Team Peugeot Hansen have been fighting back in recent rounds. The resurgence of Timmy Hansen has scored the bulk of the points, but double European champion Timur Timizyanov knows what championship victory feels like. The pair may be 38 points adrift, but momentum is on their side.
Now we can fight for the manufacturer championship, and this is the main goal. We have bad luck in Turkey with my engine and with my driving, but still we try to get some points.
We have fought so hard for this. We have caught up so much. We never thought we would get this close, but now we're here and it's the final race, so if we can make that last step too, that would be fantastic.
There are a maximum of 56 team points on offer here. The driver pairs will need to act as one unit if they want to take ultimate victory come the end of the season. Solberg may have wrapped up the Drivers' Championship, but there's plenty to play for as the following 4 drivers all have a chance to clinch second place for the season. The San Luis circuit in Argentina provides a stunning location for the final round of the season. Situated in the region of Cuyo, the San Luis track and surrounding area is a regular host to a multitude of sports. This is the first time RX has travelled to South America, so it's a brand new track for everyone. Coming up, we catch up with all the action from Heats 1 and 2. The teams meet the local fans. The action continues in Heat 3. It's elimination time in Heat 4. We go live for the Supercar semis. And it's the last of the Supercar finals of the season live. Here's the track preview presented by Ion Cameras. Away from the start line, it's a 6th gear blast down to a very fast right-hander, onto dirt, over a little hump, and then left and right down towards a right-handed hairpin where the track splits to a very technical joker, a high-speed merge, back onto dirt again for a left-hander and a right-hander before the start-finish. A sunny and very hot day greeted the teams as RX made its debut in Argentina. Liam Doran returned to the driver's seat for the first time in several months, and after challenging Timur Timizyanov early in his race, he suffered an engine problem that dropped him off the pace, leaving the Russian to take a clear and easy win. Topi Heikkinen got to turn 1 first in his heat race, but all eyes were on RX Lights champion Kevin Eriksson, who makes his supercar debut here as his championship prize. Eriksson had been top of the timesheet for most of free practice, but made a costly mistake on the joker lap and buried his car, losing more than 10 seconds, leaving Topi out front. The 6th gear first corner provided some incredible action all day, but the bravest move was made by Timmy Hansen. He muscled his way past Andreas Bakker on the run up to the gravel section, using all the road and a fair bit more. Bakker had immediately jokered to run in clear air, but it was Hansen who held on for the win. Fastest time in Heat 1 though went to World Rallycross champion Petter Solberg. Markland tried to go around the outside on the brakes at the start, but the door was closed and Solberg took the first ever RX Heat win at the most southerly rallycross track in the world. Liam Doran's Monster Energy DS3 was back to full health in Heat 2, and he took an easy win in the opening race. Albertech Racing teammates and good friends Andy Scott and Ollie O'Donovan had a drag race to turn 1 in their outing. O'Donovan reached the corner first, but ran wide, inviting Andy Scott to sneak through. He didn't need asking twice and took victory from local driver Miguel Baldoni. Timo Timozianov and Kevin Eriksson engaged in a tactical battle in race 3, and it all came down to the Joker lap merge. Eriksson came out in front but was so sideways he couldn't hold on to the car, and Timozianov pounced immediately. Timo won, but Eriksson served notice of his talent again.
That was a really good thing that I showed for the young driver that he needs to be calm and be ready for everything. Yeah, that was nice.
The final heat race of the day saw another brilliant fight, this time an all-Norwegian affair. Petter Solberg made a stunning pass on Andreas Backerud to take the lead, but Backerud wouldn't lay down. He flew around the Argentine track and was close enough to try and return the favour at exactly the same corner. Despite some gentle contact, Solberg wouldn't budge, with the top 4 drivers in the final race of the day all going faster than anyone before them. Petter Solberg tops the standings overnight, but in the team's title fight, Nitish and Backerud in 2nd and 4th put Ford OMSC in pole position. Topi Heikkinen is 3rd. Andy Scott, Liam Doran and Miguel Baldoni round out the top 12.
Liam, it was great to see you out there sideways, mixing it up with the other cars. First of all, talk us through how it was to be back in the supercar again.
Rough first day back, I think, to be honest. Rough day back in the office, as they might say. I mean, yeah, I'm back out there and I'm not far off the pace now, so I'm finishing day 1 fairly satisfied, knowing that I can go into day 2 and try and compete tomorrow. But I would have liked to have come straight out of the box and competed at the front, but we had problems in practice. I only got a couple of sessions and had a big problem in the first heat with a misfire, so we had no power at all. So, yeah. Heat 2 went okay, top 10, almost top 5, only a second off top 5, so just got to push a bit harder tomorrow. And I mean, I know there's time for me to find because my driving's rusty, so I'm almost on the pace, so if I can clean that up a little bit tomorrow, it should be all right.
Anton, not an easy day for you today. Talk us through your day overall.
Yeah, I think that practice started quite well. I was one of the quickest all the time, even if the track was getting better and better, I was keeping up as well, and I was really fast. First heat was also quite good. I was doing a good start, but in the first corner I got passed and got some hits in the front wheels, which made my car doesn't work really well. But I was keep on pushing. But the car wasn't perfect, and also it was quite a lot of dust. So the first heat was tough.
Rainis, it was great to watch you out there on this new circuit. It looks like you've had a good day. You're 2nd overall. Do you feel like you've had a good day?
Yeah, first day went well actually, and yeah, 2nd after day 1, and Petter Solberg, World Rallycross champion already in front, but yeah, feeling is good and looking forward for tomorrow. Some improvements for the car, and we'll see, but they went actually well.
Timmy, today it's very spectacular for us to watch the racing at this brand new circuit. Give us an overall summary of how it was to drive.
The first and the second heat was very different because the first I won the start and I was leading and the track was clear ahead of me, so I could really do my own job and I could push really hard, and I think we did a great result with 3rd. I'm not the greatest gravel driver, but still I think I'm learning and I'm getting better, so a 3rd position is good in this competition. But the second heat, it was the opposite and I came out lost from the start. And a couple times I was absolutely blind and I didn't see the slightest thing. So I missed this circuit by 30 meters or something like that. I was way off more than one time. So yeah, of course then you can't do a good time either, can you?
As day 2 got underway, the weather conditions were changing. Heat 3 was declared a wet race. The first race was only damp. It was a drag race down to turn 1 between Derek Tohill and Henning Solberg. Henning Solberg, having missed Heat 2, returned to form today and took an easy heat race win. Andy Scott and Ollie O'Donovan were flying away from the line. The two of them had gambled on wet tyres as the rain started to fall. O'Donovan got the jump on Scott, but with this brilliant pass, the Scottish driver took the lead and went on to take the win. Heat 3, race 3. On the inside, Kevin Eriksson, Liam Doran, Timmy Hansen, Manfred Stoll and Anton Markland. And we know a couple of these guys are going on wets. So he gets away from the line quickly. It is still pouring with rain, pouring into the front of the commentary box. It's pouring down on these guys as they head off the line. It's a great start on the inside by Eriksson. Doran, then Hansen, Stoll. They're almost in formation down towards turn 1. Doran starts in behind Eriksson. All the way around the outside. Kevin Eriksson, Timmy Hansen's 2 sideways. Can he hold on to that? He runs really, really wide. It's a massive save into the tyres on the outside of the corner. Hansen tried to go around the outside, but he couldn't find the grip there.
That was far too sideways by the young Swede of the Belgian 208 and finally went off the track.
Kevin Eriksson then leads this one after a great start. Manfred Stoll running wide. I think 3 of them, two's into the joker lap. Well, Markland has gone into the joker lap, so Markland jokers on lap 1. Timmy Hansen gets back onto the back of the train. He's made up quite a lot of time already. Looking from the commentary position, we can see him on the back. There he is, slotting in. But Kevin Eriksson, winner of the RX Lights Championship. This is his first competition in the supercar. He's doing a brilliant job.
Very young man doing very well because let's not forget that his
Doran's got a problem. Sorry to interrupt, but Doran's got a problem. We saw the onboard there. He was suddenly going slowly. Looks like the car's picked up speed again going down the straight, but a problem for Liam Doran, and he's cruising. So the British bomb on his comeback, unfortunately, with a problem, but Timmy Hansen all over the back of Manfred Stoll. And we were talking about Eriksson, brilliant debut.
Yeah, we were saying that he's driving a lot more power than he was used to in the light, so very, very good job by the youngster.
On board then with Timmy Hansen. Timmy decides to go to the joker. Very sensible. I think Stoll there was holding him up.
The times done by Stoll, by the way, are quite on the pace to be his first ever experience in rallycross. Let's not forget that like a decade ago he was leading with a private car in World Rally Championship in Cyprus, but this is a different story anyway.
Markland out from the joker lap in front of Hansen. So Hansen and Markland both jokered. They're now sitting in 3rd and 4th place. Stoll in front. I think when Stoll jokers, he'll end up dropping back. Look at the view from on board. So yesterday, hanging dust, you couldn't see anything. Today, water streaming onto the screen of the car. We've got mud flying up everywhere. I don't know which is the worst.
I don't know, but for sure the circuit must be becoming much more slippery than, for example, in race 1, so probably times are going to drop up.
Looking at the lap times, Kevin Eriksson with a 51.0 compared to a best lap of Henning Solberg 50.2, so the times are still there at the moment, but certainly the conditions...
Because these are faster guys, probably.
The visibility is nowhere near as good as it was before, so really, really tricky for these guys. Kevin Eriksson, can he hold on and take a heat race victory here? He was flying yesterday, but unfortunately made a mistake in the joker lap, ran wide, ended up off in the dirt. He's doing a great job today, sweeps around the long right-hander, back onto the start-finish straight. He's in a Ford OMSE car run by his father. It's him who won the prize, so he gets to sit in the car. I don't know what you do with your dad as a team boss.
I wouldn't know what to do, really, because it changes all the time, but I think the rain is coming heavier and heavier, and well, it's quite a little mess for the track as well.
Hansen there, running a little bit wide, looking to then get the cut back on the way in. It looked like Markland had gone defensive on the brakes. Hansen came wide, just managed to get the car turned in a little bit more. We're looking at the leader, Eriksson, in the joker lap. He's going to come out. Stoll's in the joker lap as well, so Stoll's going to get done definitely by these two. I'm sure he can't get out in front. Flames pour from the back of Stoll's car. Markland sideways, Hansen as well. He didn't make it through in time, so Stoll drops back. Eriksson is going to take this one, but it's a battle to the line between the VW and the Peugeot. Eriksson around the last right-hander. Here he goes on the gas, flat out towards the wall. Checkered flag for him. Second place is going to go to Markland, third to Hansen, and then Stoll across the line, really close in fourth. Great drive by him.
Great drive by all of these guys who kept it on the track, even in these slippery conditions we are all seeing in Argentina at the San Luis round, last round of the championship. Very well done with this young man, winning this race.
Brilliant job by Eriksson. Definitely a threat. He could possibly help Ford here in the manufacturer's title.
How old is he?
If you look at the replay, he's very, very young. I think 17 or so. Away from the line then, it was a good start from Eriksson on the inside. Doran started in behind him, and Hansen, watch Hansen around the outside here, so he tries to carry the speed and go late on the brakes, but the car breaks away. Yeah. I wonder if there was contact between him and Eriksson, or if he lost it on the brakes, but slides all the way wide, look, and just clouts the tyres.
Yeah.
Did well. Hansen, what a great job to come back into third place.
It seemed to me like there was just a very slight little contact, however, it was enough to send him too far away off the track.
Manfred Stolt, on his debut in the World Rallycross Championship, drove a rallycross car in Austria at the Race of Champions. I believe he won that event, in fact, but it wasn't this car. Wonderful shots of the flames pouring from Petter's car from last year, of course. It's Ericsson, though, who took it. Really, really great drive. Here's the results. Kevin Ericsson, Anton Markland, Timmy Hansen. Swedish 1, 2, 3. And then Manfred Stolt and Liam Doran with a problem. Slotting into the heat. Fantastic job by Kevin Ericsson. Despite the pouring rain, he goes fastest. Heat 3, race 4. Reinis Nitish, Solberg, Backerud, Heikkinen and Timosyanov, they're ready to go. And they're away from the line. Even start across the grid. Great from Nitish and Solberg on the inside. Both those guys are on dry tyres. Let's see when they get down to the braking zone whether they've got what they need. So Solberg then with Nitish. Solberg runs wide. Solberg's got no grip. He's gone wide. Surely Nitish is up the inside. Solberg's on the gas. How's he held on to that? Only a World Rally champion could have held on to that. He's the World Rallycross champion as well. Heikkinen up the inside of Nitish. Then Nitish has dropped down the third. Backerud is all over the back of him. But what a save by Petter Solberg at turn 1.
Interesting to see. He wouldn't lift the throttle at all in that move.
Brilliant job then. So Solberg holds on. Heikkinen streaming through the mud now. There is Nitish. Trying to see where Nitish is, whether he's got Joker or standard lap. It's hard to tell. He comes out the Joker lap now, so really, really muddy. Look at the difference in conditions. Timosyanov is up behind him. Solberg through the last long right-hander. There's just a flat-out kick to go. They weren't even lifting through that this morning. It needs a little lift. There's Kenneth Hansen up on the spotter's tower. He, of course, is Timosyanov's spotter. Timosyanov's already Joker with Nitish on that first lap, so those two getting out of traffic and away. On board, is that Solberg off? Is that Solberg off? Down, I think it is. Solberg, I think, has gone off down at the first corner. He has. Solberg then has completely outbraked himself. We came to the shot late, just saw him sideways and away. So Solberg has dropped down. I think he's down to 3rd place. So he lost it.
Absolutely lost it. It was on the grass and on the wrong tarmac section of the track, so he completely lost the Citroen.
Him and Nitish both on dry tyres. A mistake, do you think?
Yeah, because it's far too wet now. I mean, probably it was his gamble, or their gamble, but now it is far too wet, either on the gravel or on the tarmac of the circuit.
So Heikkinen is your current leader. Behind him is Backerud. These two guys are keeping it clean. Heikkinen through the right-hander. Backerud next in the number 13. Petter Solberg comes across the line. Having made that mistake, he's still held on to his position, but he hasn't jokered. Petter Solberg hasn't jokered yet. So he's going to drop back because Nitish and Timosyanov have done it, and they're right behind him. Solberg down to turn 1. Is he going to make the same mistake again? This time a little bit of handbrake turns the car in. He's just the left to go on the dirt. Wow. Heikkinen back onto the dirt section. He takes a stand left, so Heikkinen then is going to leave it till the last lap from the Joker lap.
And probably drive to a consistent win in these 4 laps of the race at the moment.
So these two, of course, Heikkinen and Backerud, in 2 rival teams who are up for the team's championship. There was just 4 points between them. As it stood last night, if that was how qualifying had ended, Ford OMSE would have retaken the lead of the championship based on the qualifying points. Of course, it's not over yet. There's 2 cars in both teams. OMSE have got Kevin Ericsson as well to fall back on. Look at the rain. It's absolutely pouring down here in San Luis in Argentina. It's springtime. Juan, is this what we expect?
It's the last few days of spring, but normally this time in Argentina, in South America in general, it would be as hot as in midsummer, so this is absolutely unusual for a day like this.
Really unlucky for the organisers, but the fans are still here because, as I keep saying, they absolutely love their motorsport. They went mad for these guys when they went downtown San Luis the first night that we were here. Down through the Joker lap now, then Heikkinen looks like he's going to come out way in front. He does indeed, so Heikkinen comes out in front in the VW. They did a traction test last week. It looks to have done the trick because he's going to take this one in the worst conditions we've seen down here in Argentina for Rallycross. Solberg looks like he was slow in the Joker lap. He's come out the Joker and I think he's in last. So Solberg's mistake has cost him. This man, though, no mistakes, a win for Tommy Heikkinen. Behind him, Backerud slides over the curbs, takes 2nd place. Then it's Nitish and Timosyanov, and Petter Solberg still coming around the final corner. Spectacular style, using all the run off the grass, and unfortunately he used a bit too much of the track earlier on, so a wonderful save from Solberg on lap 1, but he didn't do the same on lap 2.
And the Norwegian came from being first all the time, consistently fastest yesterday and today, until now in which he was last.
Here's the result of that one. Toppy with the win. Backerud in 2nd, Nitish 3rd, Timosyanov 4th, and Solberg with that problem down in 5th. Brilliant, brilliant performance. Topi Heikkinen goes fastest despite those atrocious conditions. He takes heat 3. Great drive by the Finn. He's quite the character. Here's a look at the replays. So Heikkinen over on the right-hand side, but it was Solberg who makes this big save at turn 1, Juan.
Yeah, and that's where there is little contact. We'll see the TV shows.
I think
not at the moment. He
Yeah.
runs wide. He
But then
goes
somehow
wide.
he still gets in front of Nitish. It's like Nitish has backed everyone
That's
up
where
the
the
race.
contact comes.
Yeah, in turn 2. So Solberg somehow hung on. Nitish then dropped back to 3rd place. Solberg, it was down at turn 1. There it is. Solberg, look at this. 600 horsepower and 4-wheel drive. He's going
On the
backwards
opposite,
with
yeah.
all the wheels spinning. Pulls it back on the track. Unfortunately, couldn't pull the result back though, could he? Here's another look at that. So here he is, super sideways. Look at the spray. Wonderful, wonderful camera shots.
Traction
here from
all the
Argentina.
time as well.
The dirt flying out. You can imagine him almost going down
Look
the
at
box,
that.
can't you?
Grass everywhere and dust and mud and traction all the time. 600 bhp going backwards and onwards.
Brilliant, fantastic stuff from Petter. Didn't take the win this time, but entertained anyway. Neil Cole's on the Iron Spotters Tower, and he's with Topi's team.
The conditions are shocking, but that didn't seem to bother Topi. A great race win.
No, they didn't bother Topi, and I think when it's raining, Topi is in his own element. So I think this rainy day will suit for us for the World Championship title fight, and also for Topi's 2nd place fight really well, and we will today go for it.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at the overall standings after Heat 3. Topi, with that Heat win in Heat 3, actually takes the lead overall. Great job. Nitish is 2nd. Solberg, who was sitting top qualifier overnight, has dropped down into 3rd. Backer is 4th. Kevin Eriksson is in 5th. So the 3 Fords are in 2nd, 4th and 5th. With that Sol VW at the top. Markland is down in 8th. I think he was 9th overnight, so it's a little move up, but it does look like it's going Ford's way at the moment. Manfred Stoll in 9th. Andy Scott, Baldoni and Liam Doran in 12th. Argentina marks the last round of the 12-round FIA World Rallycross Championship. Rallycross has never been to Argentina before. The South American fans are absolutely mad for their motorsport, so the drivers took the opportunity to head downtown San Luis and entertain the crowds.
You know, everybody I spoke to has always raved about coming to Argentina and what a fantastic country it is, and they're really behind motorsport.
It wasn't just the RX drivers who were in town. World-famous stunt driver Terry Grant was here too. He put on a real show to thrill the crowd.
This is just crazy. This is nonsense. I love Argentina and I love to come back here next year.
This is the 4th continent we go to, and it's just amazing here. There are so many people and they're all crazy.
RX also welcomes back Monster Energy's Liam Doran.
I've been doing some testing, which has been useful for me to be testing not as a race driver, because I've helped get the cars to perform better actually. And I've learnt a lot being out of the seat and watching and overlooking, so I'm taking a bit more knowledge and experience back into the car with me, and there's no such thing as going rust. I think if you can drive, you can drive.
It's been an exciting season for all the RX support classes. Daniel Lund tied up the Touring Car Championship for rear-wheel drive 2-litre cars, and spectacular Russian Sergei Zakyumenov took the Super 1600 title for the front-wheel drive Pocket Rockets. But the class which bears the closest relation to a supercar is undoubtedly the RX Lights. The 4-wheel drive one-make championship was hard fought all season, and the winner Kevin Eriksson booked himself a very special drive here in Argentina.
I won the RX Lights Championship, and the prize was, to race a supercar here in Argentina, and that's unbelievable. It's been my dream since I was a child, so it's the best prize ever.
It may be a brilliant prize, but the youngster hasn't had long to settle into a supercar.
I did a few laps in Sweden on a cold, rainy day, so it's, the opposite to this, really good weather, nice sun and everything, but I, have a few laps, so I'm feeling ready. I just want to have fun and learn as much as possible. This is like a, it's a prize, so I want to want to have fun, and these are the world's best rallycross drivers. So it's good to see how I'm standing right now.
He worked extremely hard to get to this point, but it's a big difference now to take a step up, because now he has to raise his stars, or the superstars he dream of. Guys like Solberg, I think they can get a little, fever just because of that. So we'll see. It's a big step. This is a big day for him, I think.
There are some similarities between an RX Light and a supercar, but some big differences too.
They're both four-wheel drive, so they are pretty similar, how you drive them, but you have 300 more horsepower in one of these, and the acceleration is just unbelievable. So that will be the biggest challenge, to tame the beast.
The braking is pretty much the same. Tires has been pretty much the same. I think the school he has been in, driving a lot of races, the racing accidents happen in the same kind of speeds. I think he should be quite prepared. I think he has more speed in him than the lights have given him, so we'll see if he can handle that in the supercar. But that's up to him to prove.
A strong showing here in Argentina could secure a drive for the youngster next season.
Hopefully, I would like to be in a supercar, in maybe the Swedish Championship. Start kind of slow and then build up, and hopefully in a few years be here full time in World RX.
Crunch time, Heat 4, Race 1. It's Jos Janssen, Liam Doran and Bohdan Lubicak. Be interested to see who goes on wets and who goes on dries. I'm right on cue. That is a wet weather tyre on Liam Doran's DS3. Will it be the right decision? If he's on form, Liam shouldn't struggle to see these two off, but Jos Janssen's a fast starter. Let's see how they get away from the line. Wheel spin all round, but it is Doran who gets the drop on the other two drivers. Janssen is going to be Lubicak down to turn 1. Lubicak out wide, and Doran away. Now Doran has got to get his head down. He's got a clear track. He's sitting currently while Liam is in 12th place, so he's in real danger here.
Well, you can see that the condition is changing. In fact, it is still chilly, it is still windy, but there is not pouring rain anymore. So I think Doran could eventually has an easy job to win here.
Oh, Janssen, big time sideways as he spun it.
And off.
Just held on. Over the curbs on the inside. Jos Janssen makes his own track up.
That is exactly why I was saying Doran can take it easy to win, because he's much more experienced than his two rivals in this race here, the Polish driver and the Belgian driver.
So Doran coming around to the end of the first lap already with a substantial lead over Jos Janssen and Lubicak. I can't actually see Jos Janssen from the commentary position, so I wonder if he stopped somewhere out on circuit.
Janssen is having problems.
So Janssen has a problem. Janssen has had a big problem. Looks like he's gone straight on again, and he's turning the car around to try and rejoin the track. There he is. So Jos Janssen is all over the place. He is now down in 3rd place, and he's chasing down Lubicak. So Doran, a clear runner out front. He's sitting in 12th place. Of course, the top 12 go through to the semi-finals. He had a problem in the previous heat and was 16th quickest out of 17, Liam. So he does need a good time here. Juan, in terms of these heat races, obviously we've got 3 races to come after this. How do you think the track will develop now it's not raining?
It depends on whether it will still keep muddy or not. I think if there is some wind, like effectively there is, it could dry a little bit and it will change the conditions on a positive way for sure.
Doran, his father Pat Doran looking on. Of course, Pat, a rallycross legend. You may well remember him in the RS200 in the days when Group B cars were allowed in rallycross. Big battles with Martin Shanker, Will Gollop. Fantastic times.
Still a lot of water is draining out of tires. You can see that, spectators can see that from the TV. It's muddy surface in the gravel sections, of course, but that could change if the weather conditions keep like this in the coming 30 or 40 minutes.
Well, looking at Liam's lap times, at the minute he's done a 52.0 is his quickest, which would put him fairly slow compared to the previous heat, but of course it may be that everybody is going to struggle with these conditions. They've just groomed the track, so we know there's a lot of loose dirt on top. This could be fast, but we just don't know until we see some other cars come out and try to beat Liam's time.
I mean, he's probably trying to do his best in terms of lap times in order to make sure that he's going to enter the semi-finals. But visually, it doesn't seem to be one of the fastest laps compared to the races we've seen before.
Through that very long right-hander, so hard to slow a car down when you've got the front end loaded up. You can see there, that was where Timmy Hansen nearly went off, where Petter Solberg went off. We saw Jos Janssen have a big moment in the previous heat, very slippery. Lubicak, let's not forget Lubicak, he's been one of our permanent World Championship drivers. He's been to as many events as he could possibly get himself to. Very much the privateer, these guys, family-run team. Not able to set the times of the other drivers, he just doesn't have the equipment, but it's great to see that he's completed his World Championship campaign, along with Jos Janssen as well. They are a very long way from home, and we're grateful that they've made the trip.
There are 3 drivers competing.
Liam slow. Problem for Doran again. Doran's coming around the hairpin left, and the DS3 is grinding to a halt. The dash is lit up like a Christmas tree.
He's back.
He's back on the power again, so Liam has an intermittent problem in the DS3, definitely comes around the right-hander onto the straight. And it's another misfire. The car sounds very sick as he comes over the finish line, so a problem for Liam Doran just when it looked like he was going to make a good time.
Very unlucky.
His reaction. Yeah, he is. Let's see his reaction in the car. I mean, he seems quite calm. 12th place behind him is Ollie O'Donovan, Tohill, Janssen, Lubicak and Henning Solberg.
I think this is the least thing he needed.
Yeah, definitely. Lubicak and Janssen. I think Lubicak's going to beat Jos Janssen here, which would be great for him if he does. It might be the first time he's done that this season. That would be fantastic. So Lubicak around the last right-hander. And he is indeed. He's going to come across the line in front of Jos Janssen. Congratulations to Bodan. Great result for him. Jos Janssen in the focus. Of course, a new car after that massive crash in Germany for Janssen. Very tricky conditions, and 2 of our gentlemen drivers here purely for the enjoyment and to be a part of a World Championship. Great to see them competing together.
Bogdan Ludwigczak must be thinking that it was worth crossing all Europe and all the Atlantic to come here.
Yeah, it's a long way. Here's the result. Heat 4, race 1. Liam Doran takes it despite that problem. Bodan Ludwigczak in 2nd, Janssen in 3rd. Replays from this one then. Easy start for Liam.
Yeah, as we said, a much more experienced driver, faster as well, but very unlucky at the same time. A lot of water coming out of the tires, draining water in the asphalt, and then muddy. Well, we can see the track is still very slippery, not just a little. Doran trying to set the pace until the very last part, in which he was, as we said, very unlucky with probably a misfire or something in electronics.
Liam Doran takes the checker flag. Will he make it through to the semi-finals on his return to the World Championship? We will see. Heat 4, race 2. Miguel Baldoni, Derek Tohill, Ollie O'Donovan and Petter Solberg. Vanilla Solberg on the Iron Spotters Tower. And away now, Heat 4, race 2, suddenly being released. I didn't see the start procedure at all there. Derek Tohill was left absolutely standing on the line. Petter Solberg, as a result of that, is out in front. Baldoni is in 2nd, I think. Is it Baldoni?
Yes, yes. It's quite a strange situation.
Oh, Baldoni sideways into Ollie O'Donovan. Contact between those 2. I don't think he can do anything about it. He was so sideways, but Derek Tohill's managed to catch up with these 2. Baldoni then in 2nd place. Ollie O'Donovan in 3rd. Tohill at the back. Petter Solberg out clear and in front.
This was clearly a benefit for Tohill, who could eventually come to 3rd if everything goes well, but Baldoni is still trying to keep that 2nd position he's holding now.
O'Donovan's gone into the joke for that. Tohill has decided not to, so he's going to try and come around the outside. You can see from our commentary position, though, Derek Tohill is pulling off the track, maybe. I think Derek Tohill's got a problem. From our commentary position, you can't see it on your screens, but he seems to be going slowly. We're looking at Baldoni. Have you spoken to Miguel about driving the car? What did he think of a rallycross car for the first time?
He's impressed. I mean, he's enjoying the door-to-door action in the heats and all that. But what impresses him the most is obviously, I'm going to say, a pretty obvious thing, the 600 bhp power. I mean, when he told me, when I'm on the straight line, I can't believe the power when he pushes and changes gears. It's amazing. And the way he can power steer all the time, all around the lap, it's one of the things that he liked the most.
It's a big smile, isn't it, for every driver who jumps into one of these cars. Solberg, so sideways again. A little nip on the handbrake. Listen to that car. Full new suspension setup on Solberg's car, and I mean everything. He said to me, the first thing he said, "Hi, how are you?" Everything is new on the car. He loves it. Testing for 2015. He's got a brand new engine in the car this weekend. You remember, of course, when he took the title in Italy, he had engine problems. That continued through to Turkey. He's had to put a fourth engine into a 15-point penalty, but he's so far clear at the front of the standings that it still means he'll be world champion even if he retired from here. So a great opportunity for him to test.
Of course, and another thing new, you mentioned the suspension in his Citroen. Another thing new here in Argentina for him in his car is the engine, if I'm not too wrong.
Yeah, completely new engine. Yeah, dampers as well have been changed. So I don't know if it's a new specification of engine. I know it's brand new. It's a brand new unit, but whether it's if it's more power for next year.
Anyway, it's always nice to have a new engine.
Yeah, he loves it. Better. He can't wait to add more bits to the car. So he's great job from the Norwegian. Absolutely miles out in front. He's sweeping around the last corner. You're looking at Ollie O'Donovan, who's in at Albertech Racing this weekend. Hope he's enjoying driving the 208. And there is Solberg bursting out onto the straight. Watch this, down through the long right hand. He said that the suspension, apart from the geometry, says even softer. It doesn't look to be pitching around as much as it does. Oh, Baldoni and O'Donovan absolutely locked in battle side by side. Baldoni is sideways. O'Donovan up the inside. O'Donovan's got sideways. The crowd are going nuts. We can hear them in the commentary box. O'Donovan over the curve from the inside. Baldoni alongside him too. Those two go in for the final lap now. O'Donovan. Baldoni's trying to pass around the outside of turn one. We've seen this end in tears several times. O'Donovan turns in. Baldoni right behind him. The crowd noise is an incredible one.
It was incredible. For a moment, I thought I was watching BTCC or touring cars or something like that, because it was just mirrors flying and door-to-door action.
Brilliant.
It was incredible.
Great
and of course, the
racing.
spectators are happy because this is the local driver.
They want to see Baldoni do well. Baldoni's dropped back a little bit. I wonder if he's got a problem. It looks like he might have, but this man has no problems at all. Petter Solberg flies over the finish line. 3:33. It's a quick time from him. Very quick indeed. In fact, he's absolutely smashed it compared to the previous heat. He was doing 50-second laps compared to 52s.
All weekend long fastest Solberg so far.
O'Donovan then. O'Donovan with a tyre off at the back. Baldoni is right behind him. This will get the crowd going. They're coming around the final corner. Baldoni passing around the outside. They've gone mental in the pit lane. Baldoni takes it. And O'Donovan past the checker flag. Absolutely brilliant. There are loads of people down in the pit lane in front of the commentary position. They are jumping up and down to see Baldoni. Look at that. Big smiles.
This proved that Miguel was determined not to be third at all. He wanted second again.
Fantastic. O'Donovan probably with the puncture from all that contact between the two, but really great to see a crowd pleaser there. Solberg's car looks low when you look at it. Here's the result then. Petter Solberg with the win, Miguel Baldoni, Ollie O'Donovan and Derek Tohill in second, third and fourth. Solberg slots in ahead of everybody. So Liam's time not bad compared to the other three, but compared to Petter, he's absolutely miles out in front. O'Donovan, crippled car on the way back in. Here's the replays. At the start there, people were caught napping, weren't they?
It was a confusing start, particularly for Tohill, who was left far too behind. But the rest then came into action, and then when the others, the second and the third, Baldoni and O'Donovan started to fight, Tohill came back and joined them in the lot.
You see, Baldoni was really sideways down in the first corner. I think when he caught the car and it swung back the other way, he just went into the side of O'Donovan. This was O'Donovan returning the favour. Now this was on lap 3. They came over the line. O'Donovan, look, uses all the curves on ways, more than the curve. Boom, straight through one of the poles at the side of the road. Not worried about that. Tohill, I think, had a problem halfway through that race, not on the pace that we're used to this weekend. It'd be great if Tohill comes back to the championship next year. I'd love to see what he can do. We know he's fast from his touring car performances last year. Neil is with Petter Solberg right now.
Petter, a very dominant win, a very good time. The crowd very impressed.
The crowd fantastic here, and the only thing that worries me now is drying up more and more for the two next heats. And but I drove quite well, did a couple of small mistakes, but it's not so bad, not so bad.
What's the secret to your times are just improving all the time?
Well, because this is a brand new chassis, and I was planning to do this as a test. So if you compare it with the first practice here on yesterday, it was okay, but not mega good. But now improving all the time, so it's fantastic. Yeah.
This weekend, Petter Solberg is looking forward to lifting the championship trophy which he secured in Italy. But what was the secret to his success this season?
I think some of the big success is that I keep the same people all the time, who is willing to put in as much effort as I want. Second thing is that winning in Portugal was quite special. We didn't expect that straight away. But things have been working very well, and we have been improving all the details through the whole season. And with the development we are doing all the time, it's for sure some of the things that gets things together. Also been a lot with the strategy, planning, find out where the other guys is in speed. So maybe some of the heats, you know, I could have maybe been faster, and I could have maybe pushed more limits. But you have to try to find what you need, and that's maybe also a big change compared with last year, when we are flat out all the time.
With the championship in the bag, Petter is taking the opportunity to develop the car for the 2015 season.
We have been working very hard for development for next year. So the lot of the things on the car now, it's maybe 50% of the new car for next year, with geometry and dampers, engine, weight difference, you name it. It's a lot of different things. I'm lucky enough to maybe use this race as a little bit as a test race, basically, you know, and because time is going quick for next year, so earlier you can start, the better it is. I've actually put it in a new engine for the race, and I flew it down. I didn't have to do it. I could have used one of the engines from the last race, but I want to do it properly. I want to be a little bit in front with development. So I have gone full in for this race, and yes, for sure, fight for victory is the main thing. But rallycross is hard, you know. It's very difficult because it's so many other cars on the track. So for me, it's just focus on the right things and try to do very similar to what I've done every race. But for sure, this track fits me very well. It's a fantastic track, a lot of gravel, and a little bit of rally experience will help.
Heat 4, race 3. Rainis Nitish, Timmy Hansen, Timo Timosyanov, Andy Scott and Manfred Stoll. Drying. Are they going to be any faster? Petter Solberg thinks they might be. Let's see how they get away from the line. Great traction from the two Peugeots, but it's Andy Scott who's got the jump on everybody. Andy Scott, contact between the two Peugeots and between Nitish as well. Andy Scott takes the whole shot. Manfred Stoll is trying to come all the way around the outside. Stoll is sideways. He's going to run wide. You're on board there. And Stoll backwards in the same style as Solberg was. Andy Scott leading them from Rainis Nitish, and behind him that's Timo Timosyanov slots into second place. So it's Andy Scott, Timosyanov, Nitish and Hansen. Andy Scott, what a drive from the line.
This is a very compact race, and 3 of the cars out of 5 are fighting for the team's championship.
On board here, you can see the dirt is flying everywhere. I'm not sure who we're with. Around to the right and then back on again. So they've gone into the Joker lap. So it's one of the two Peugeot Hansens. It is Hansen has gone into the Joker lap. Manfred Stoll has gone with him. You can see the mud there. They ran wide. I think the conditions in the Joker lap are different. Andy Scott now is being challenged by Timosyanov. So Scott with Timosyanov right behind him. Andy's trying to hold them off. Around the right-hander now. He leads a train of 3. 2 Peugeots and the Ford behind. So of course Ford Nitish needs to stay out of trouble. Came very close to having contact. Well, we saw contact on that first start straight.
Of course, it's very Ford. 2 of them are
Andy's made a mistake. Sorry, Juan.
Yeah.
Andy's made a mistake. He goes wide into the dirt. He's let them both through. And Nitish now takes the lead. Timosyanov is in second. Andy Scott's gone backwards.
And it's only 2 laps out of 4 with so many things happening.
That's Rallycross for you. Welcome to the World Rallycross Championship.
That's great. That's great. It's a pity what happened with Manfred Stoll in the opening lap of the race, because he so far he had been consistent enough and needed some better result than this.
So Nitish then out front. This is a good result for him. After 2 heats, theoretically, Ford would have been in the lead in the championship, the team's championship. After 3, VW were 1 point in front. Of course, it's all immaterial until we see the end of heat 4, but Nitish needs to perform well here for MSE to take it through to the semi-finals. It's going to be so close for the team's championship. There is Manfred Stoll, enjoying himself here in Argentina. And here is Nitish. Took a win earlier on in the season in Norway. We thought we might see more after that. It's been an impressive season. This guy, Super 1600 champion last year. I think he's 18 years old. He turned up to Linden Hill late because he was doing a maths exam.
Quite,
so
remarkable
so
work
young.
by the Latvian, of course. Yeah. Who won his race yesterday in his heat.
Oh, Stoll up the inside of Andy Scott. Andy Scott then has been really badly beaten up now. And he's trying to go back around the outside of Manfred Stoll. So Andy Scott right up behind him. I tell you what, he's giving it to the pro drivers here. He really is. He'll be very pleased with himself for leading the race. I know he will. Can have a look at Manfred Stoll. Andy Scott out wide. Stoll takes a defensive line. Scott turns the car in. It is a bit of a mud bath out there. How are the lap times comparing? Petter was doing 50s. Rainis Nitti's best lap is only a 51.7, so Petter Solberg.
1.7 is quite a lot.
Okay, it's a hell of a lot, isn't it? And he's got over the curbs again. Rainis Nitti's out front. Unchallenged in the fourth, but not on the pace of Solberg. But of course, really, we need to see his pace against the other VWs, so that's the most important thing here.
2 minutes ago, we were talking about Nitish.
Stoll stopped. Stoll stopped.
Again. Spun again. Yeah. The Austrian is not having a lucky race this time.
He's not. He certainly is not. There is the Joker lap merge. Timosyanov, we think, has gone off as well. Timosyanov has spun in the Joker lap. I can see it from the commentary position. He spins the car around in a flurry of dirt. But Nitish is going to take this one through the hairpin right onto the start-finish straight. Checkered flag falls for him. Timmy Hansen comes through in second place. Andy Scott, despite all those little problems, is going to come through in third because Timosyanov had a spin on the Joker lap. So Scott, having led the race early on, has crossed the line now. You're looking at Timosyanov. He takes fourth. And Manfred Stoll, who's been off a couple of times, comes across in the fifth and final place. That was exciting stuff.
It was a hectic 2 or 3 first lap. It was a little bit more quiet on the last one, but it was an interesting race, of course.
Here's the results. Rainis Nitish takes it. Timmy Hansen second, Andy Scott, then Timosyanov and Manfred Stoll. So Nitish slots in second. Look at the margin that Petter Solberg has. 9 seconds faster. That is outrageous in these conditions. Let's look at the replays then. So in the middle, the two Peugeots, I was keen to see if there was contact between them, so there was a bit of a squeeze on. Who was it that dropped back to third? I think it was Timosyanov maybe who dropped back to third and then tried to come around the outside, so he thought better of it. He then ran wide. Andy Scott took the lead and held on to it for a lap, but then Andy ran wide at the bottom, hit the tyres. I think he kept his foot in, then had another moment. This was him and Manfred Stoll, who had a battle later on in the race. Nitish really, out front, clean drive. Will it be fast enough against the VWs? That's the most important thing.
Yeah, he's probably becoming a celebrity, at least as a sportsman in Latvia.
He is.
You don't see much of sports celebrities from Latvia every day. And this is a world championship,
yes.
So probably they are paying attention.
Oh, very much, very much. Nitish is a superstar back home, and that's fantastic to see. And that's why, brilliant performance from him. Well, it's the final qualifying heat race of the season. Heat 4, race 4. Topi Heikkinen, Kevin Eriksson, Henning Solberg, Andreas Backerud and Anton Markland. The two VWs then, currently leading the championship. If it had finished as it did after Heat 3, if that was when they got the qualifying points, they would be 1 point ahead in the team's championship. They're going to be looking at Nitish's time, but also, of course, Backerud is there with them. And don't forget Eriksson, who's fast and, of course, not really involved in the team's championship, but very much on Podium MSC's side. At the minute, it's Backerud who's got the best start. Henning Solberg is on the inside of him. Eriksson's going to have to slot in. Backerud shuts the door, moves smoothly across all the way around the outside. Anton Markland, and contact was that between him and Henning Solberg. Markland holds on to it. What happened there?
This is the profit of Volkswagen for sure. If they can chase the 4 leading this race, it will be good. You have a Volkswagen in second and in fourth. The Ford is still dominating on the lead.
Eriksson with a mistake. Eriksson's made a mistake, and that's Heikkinen now. He's stuck behind him. Heikkinen, I think, is going to have to take the Joker lap, and I don't think he wanted to do that. Did he or not? No, I don't think he did. So it looks like Heikkinen's managed to continue straight on. Eriksson went into the Joker, and you can see Heikkinen was tucked up behind him and had nowhere to go.
it was difficult to find the right place without light contact.
Baccarat through the right. Track conditions are still changing. We're not sure what's quick and what isn't. As Nitish rightly said, he was held up a little bit by the drivers in front of him, but at the minute, Petter Solberg with that stunning time, I really don't think the VWs are going to be worried about that, or the Fords. They're just concerned about where the other cars are in this fight for the first ever FIA World Rallycross Teams Championship. Häkkinen on board there, a great look at him working the car.
What I can see in every start after turn 1 is that the circuit did not change that much actually, because it seems to be very slippery as a few minutes ago.
So the two VWs then split their tactics. Into the Joker lap goes Markland. Häkkinen continuing on the standard lap. Both those drivers very, very tidy through there. We've seen mistakes there. Ericsson has Joker already and has come out behind Markland. So Markland is in the box seat there. That's good for him. It's between Baccarat and Häkkinen. They both got to Joker, so Baccarat is absolutely miles out in front. Oh, Markland's run wide from the competition, we can see. He's run wide, Ericsson's up his inside as they pass us on the start-finish line. You can see the view there from the Ion Spotters Tower. It's a drag race down towards turn 1. Kevin Eriksson, great drive. I know he's had a few laps in a supercar, but not really that many, and it does just go to show the RX Lights Championship is a good training ground.
Of course, and he's proving this right here, right now. The prize he got by jumping to some supercar now is where he's clear here.
Oh, he's having a look up the inside again. Markland here seems to be struggling a bit. Ericsson's got past. Was there a tiny bit of contact between them? It's the right-hander coming up. The drivers all say this one's great. You have to fling it in past the arm code. They come out. Häkkinen's going to slot in behind them, so Häkkinen has gone in behind Markland and Ericsson. Oh, Markland gives Ericsson a tap. Baccarat crosses the start-finish line. He's the only one who's yet to Joker. These three now are locked in battle for the rest of the lap. Kevin Eriksson can help here because he can hold up the two VWs.
Yet he's holding up against the experienced drivers on the wheel of supercars, so he's doing really well.
The two VWs then running line astern. They've got to be careful not to make any contact with each other. This is a good performance from Markland, who struggled yesterday. Look at the visibility on top of his car.
It's a muddy windscreen there.
It is a very muddy windscreen, so Baccarat must be into the Joker lap already. We haven't seen it on the time screen yet. He's a fair way ahead of these guys. He is. Baccarat slots into the Joker lap now. So it's all about the merge. Ericsson is coming around the outside. Baccarat's miles in front. We can see it from the commentary box. He's miles in front. Baccarat is out in front by a country mile. This is a great drive by him. Of course, he took the win in Turkey, a winner earlier on in the year as well. Double winner. Baccarat with one corner to go. I think this is going to be a good time from him.
And making a good job for the team as well in the championship.
Perfect job for the team. Andreas Baccarat, 3:35. He's only a couple of seconds off Solberg. Kevin Eriksson over the line. Got a 3:40. That's a good drive too. Häkkinen. What's that? Häkkinen. Oh, it's a problem for Häkkinen. On board with Häkkinen now. This could be the moment that VW lose the World Teams Championship. It's a disaster for Häkkinen. White smoke pours from the back of the car. The belts are off. Häkkinen has retired from this heat race. Is it going to be too much for the team to get that car ready for the semi-finals? Because if it is, they've just handed the title to Ford on a plate. Häkkinen opens the bonnet. It's a disaster. He's one corner from the finish.
One corner from the finish, walking distance. He could see the finish from his cockpit, and look at the condition of the car, smoky everywhere.
Oh dear. The VW team will be gutted. Toppy opens the front and the back of the car. The radiators you can see in the back there, standard for rallycross cars. Here's the result. Andreas Baccarat takes it, could be key now that we've seen a problem for Häkkinen, who finished, what, DNF in 5th. Ericsson 2nd, Markland 3rd, and Henning Solberg 4th. Here's where they slot in. Baccarat goes into 2nd, Ericsson 3rd, Markland 4th. Great job. He would have been right up there. Häkkinen would have been right up there, but that problem has thrown this all open as we come towards the semi-finals. Häkkinen's car stuck out on the track. Here's a look at the replay. So there's VW on the inside. Can't remember who it was on the inside. It was Häkkinen on the inside, got left behind. Had to come around, tried to find some space. Perfect start from Baccarat. He never got troubled, really.
Very clever and very tiny start for the Norwegian. While the rest of the drivers were sliding much more, he just got away with it.
That was where Häkkinen had the tiny bit of contact there with Ericsson. You could see then that he was held up as Ericsson went right on the tighter line for the Joker lap. decent race between the Fords and the VWs. Markland have a different joker tactic, as we said, from Heikkinen. What's going on here? Heikkinen, so you can see behind this contact there, that's not on purpose, that's because Henning is right up behind Heikkinen. Heikkinen's probably got the throttle fully lit, and there's nothing there. Everything there for Bakkerud. Checker flag. Great drive by him. Neil Cole is down with Andreas Bakkerud.
Andreas, you're converting a whole new load of fans here in Argentina. A great race there.
Yeah, me canta Argentina. I love Argentina. It's a great track and great atmosphere. So, you know, great day so far. My supporters back home in Bergen are watching this live. So I hope everybody is good at Lindesbrigge. Take care. It's great. It's great to be me.
The great thing is you did what you had to do for the team, and it looks like Topi Heikkinen is stranded in the middle of the course, and we know what that means for the title for their teams.
Yeah, we just do our job, you know. We keep on fighting. This race, I hope for a clean fight and good fight at the end. So I really hope that he doesn't have too much problem. But I guess I see him in the final. You know, he's a flying Finn, so he should be there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for the qualifying then. Here's how they stand after 4 heats. Petter Solberg with the top qualifying position. Nitish and Bakkerud taking 2nd and 3rd. Heikkinen takes 4th. That was key for VW, but is he going to make it through to the semi-finals? Kevin Eriksson 5th, Timmy Hansen, Anton Marken through to the semis as well. Timasiano is 8th. At bottom we've got Scott, Stoll, Doran and Baldoni. That's where they split. Look, the odds go across to semi-final 1 and the evens across to semi-final number 2. It's all about whether Topi shows up for the front row of semi-final 2 or not.
So what happened there? It looked like it was going well. What happened?
Yeah, I think I broke my engine, so now the guy's changing with a new engine for that. But yeah, we are still holding the 4th place, which is quite good. It's quite good position to the semi-finals, so hopefully they have enough time to change it.
Now, do you think it was you that broke the engine? I mean, what you say, I broke the engine, but was there a problem before, or what happened?
No. It I don't know what was wrong in the engine, but something just happening, and so.
You were very impressive in the first heat this morning when it was very, very wet. As it dried up, which of the conditions did you prefer before your engine blew?
Yeah, for me it doesn't matter which is it wet or dry, but yeah, we'll see. On wet conditions we're having a quite good setup on the car, and also on the dry. So for me it doesn't matter which is the condition is. But yeah, let's look forward.
Now, obviously they should be able to fix all of this in time for the semis, but this does mean that you've now dropped behind Ford OMSE in the team's title race. That must be why there's quite a lot of panic on the faces of the team.
I don't know. We just need to do good rounds, and also Anton lifted up to the sixth place or something like this. So semi-final and finals, there are still 6 rounds and still a long way to go.
Well, nice one. I hope it gets fixed. And let's see if we can find someone else to speak to. Move our way into the back. See some worried faces back here. It's Anton Markland. What, this is a setback for the team's title?
I think we still have the chance. As we have calculated, we are 2 points behind now, and if we manage to change the engines in time, we can fight for it in the semi-final, because we have a sealed engine, so it's no minus points.
Now, do you know what went wrong with the engine? Was it looking like it was on its way out?
No, it's complete. I guess a valve broke or something, so it's complete broke.
Okay. Good luck, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, the final preparations are underway here in Argentina for the final semi-finals and the final of the year. There are the teams readying the cars. The track has been re-prepped, been dragging the dirt around, rolling it down. We are very nearly good to go. Really looking forward to this one, as I'm sure you are at home. I hope you've managed to be with us all season. Maybe this is the first time you've watched the World Rallycross Championship. This man is the world champion, but we still have a title to decide. That is the team's title. It's between Ford and VW. You may have all these things, but without a partner, you can never win. The World Rallycross Championship hits South America, and it's time for an Argentinian tango as 3 teams and 6 drivers take to the floor to find out which team has all the right moves in 2014. It's going down to the wire. Only 2 teams have led the championship all year, and there's a 38-point gap between first and third, with a maximum of 56 points on offer here in Argentina. Topping the team's championship is VW Markland with 361 points. Despite a race win from Topi Häkkinen in Belgium and consistent performances from Anton Markland, they've been second all season. But they made all the right moves last time out in Turkey, outscoring Ford MSC by 4 points, and therefore taking the championship lead by the same margin.
Hopefully we can end up first and second, and that would mean that we are our champions. So yeah, just go flat out, I guess.
We need to hold the second place. It's really important for me, but also I really want to having the good race for the team also. So I just want to do the good race, and I think I'm gonna hold my second place, but hopefully we're gonna do and win the team championship also.
Second in the team's championship is Ford MSC. Bakkerud's second victory of the year last round in Turkey wasn't enough to consolidate a team's championship lead after teammate Reinis Nitish was knocked out in the semis.
We need to think about the drivers' championship, because if like drivers we are in the top, then for offshore the team also in the top. And we done already a really good job this year, and we can try to do better.
It's simple, we need to beat the VW.
Peugeot Hansen have been third since round 3 in Norway. Poor early season form and penalty points for engine changes have left their mark on the team's title hopes, but Timmy Hansen has been on fire over the last few rounds, including a perfect points victory in Italy. The young Swede, along with his double European champion teammate, have an outside chance of glory, but possess all the attributes needed to make it happen.
I come here to have the first victory for my season, for this season, and to try to, how we explain it, like to fight for the manufacturer championship.
We have caught up so much. We never thought we would get this close, but now we're here and it's the final race. So if we can make that last step too, that would be fantastic.
We are third at the moment in the team championship, so of course we have a distance to be able to win. What we can do is to prepare as best that we can and try to be with 2 cars on the podium, and then it's up to the other teams to, I mean, hopefully they have some bad event or something so we can gain some points.
I feel that everybody really wants to end the season with a good feeling, which means that we try to do our best, but without losing the fun of it.
We done such a good season anyway, so we have to do our best this weekend and hope that we don't get problems with the weather, so it will be clean racing all time.
The team's championship point looked like this. Basically, forget the maths till the final and enjoy what will be a fantastic 3-way fight till the end. The driver's title is already Petter Solberg's, but the battle for second is still on. Topi leads the charge, while Nitish down to Bakkerud are all still in the fight. The final round of the year sees us travel to San Luis, located in the region of Cuyo in Argentina. The area is a haven for South American motorsport and offers the RX Championship a fitting final venue to what has been a fantastic global trip for the inaugural FIA World Rallycross Championship year. Here's the track review presented by Ion Cameras. Away from the start line, it's a 6th gear blast down to a very fast right-hander, onto dirt, over a little hump, and then left and right down towards a right-handed hairpin where the track splits to a very technical joker, a high-speed merge, back onto dirt again for a left-hander and a right-hander before the start-finish.
Here we are at the start line for the final round of World RX in Argentina. This is the rundown to the first corner. It's a very long sweeping right-hander. The cars are going to be quite disciplined going through this section, but then it tightens up into a tight right-hander into gravel. The key here is that when you enter that gravel section, you got to be in the lead. If you're not in the lead, you're going to be in a ball of dust. If you're in a ball of dust, you're fighting with yourself going nowhere fast.
Here's the surface split in Argentina. It's 60% tar and 40% gravel.
Here we are at the last corner of the circuit in Argentina. This is going to be the opportunist corner. Some drivers are going to respect this concrete wall a little bit too much. Cars are going to be racing for the finish line just here. If the car in front gives it too much respect, the car is going to be unsettled and it'll allow the car behind nip up the inside to take the win.
Well, if you've only just joined us, here's what happened in qualifying. Kevin Eriksson, very, very impressive indeed. Unfortunately, put it off into the gravel. Hansen fighting for Peugeot to keep them in the title fight. Solberg, he won Heat 1. That car is almost all new. New suspension, new dampers, new engine. He's testing for next year already, the champion this time round. Eriksson and Timmer in Heat 2 very nearly came together. Timmer got up the inside. Very impressive drives, I say, from Kevin Eriksson. One to watch for the future, certainly. Same corner, Solberg and Bakkerud. Solberg had passed Bakkerud on the previous lap. Bakkerud tried to get him back, couldn't get it done though. Rani Snitish was flying out front and it was him who took Heat 2. On to this morning, it was all changed. It was absolutely poured down. Petter Solberg went off, lost his place at the top of the qualifiers. It went to this man, Topi Heikkinen was on a flyer in Heat 3. Fastest overall with all the quick boys just behind him. Timosyanov kept on fighting for Peugeot, as did Hansen, but at this point they are now out of the Teams Championship Challenge. It is just down to VW and Ford, and this was the big news in Heat 4. Topi Heikkinen stopped in the VW Polo, got out of the car. Was it all over, or could they get the engine changed in time for the semi-finals? Here's the knockout qualifiers. Petter Solberg at the top, then Nitish, Bakkerud, Heikkinen, Eriksson, Timmy Hansen, Anton Markland, Timur Timosyanov, Andy Scott, Manfred Stoll. Baldoni's made it through. All the locals here will be pleased about that, and Liam Doran was through as well in 12th place, although there has since been a change. Liam, unfortunately, excluded for a technical infringement, so he is out and Ollie O'Donovan is in instead. The split, though, very interesting. We've got a Ford and a VW on either side. Going to be fantastic. Cars are down on the grid. We're almost ready to go. This is what we've got coming up for you. We've got live supercar semi-finals, 4 laps here from Argentina, and the final supercar final of the year, which will also be 4 laps. 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 Neil caught up with Andreas Bakkerud earlier on today.
We are about to launch into the semi-finals. What's your mindset like right now? Is it all about you or all about the team?
Oh, it's all about making a best possible result. I mean, hopefully I get a good fight with Petter here in the front of me. So I think the start is going to be very important here, and as well taking the joker at the right time.
It's going to be very interesting to watch you fight with Petter, because I know there's rivalry and respect between you, but it would be nice to beat him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's the last race of the season, of course, and I have 4 victories in the AMG Championship, and the same as Petter, so I want to end the season a little bit in front of him, and a good start for next year.
And what's been the final word to you before the semi from the team boss about the team's championship?
Bring the car home and no punctures. So I mean, for sure that's the goal, to be in the final and take as many points as possible. But I need to drive my own race and find my own rhythm. So and you know, I hadn't been here in Argentina if it hadn't been without having my supporters at home in Lindesbrigge. So all the best for you guys, and I hope it's good mood.
And finally, the weather's changed again. Very different conditions. What's it going to be like on the circuit?
It's changing a lot, but I mean, like that it have been all weekend. So I think we just have to use the ice good and the feeling with the car. So obviously it's changed a lot since last time we were out there. So we need to clear the head and make the right choices.
Thanks, Andreas. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, he's ready for the semi-finals, so are we. My name is Andrew Coley. Alongside me here in Argentina is Juan Cruz Matus. Been brilliant to have you alongside here. Your first look at Rallycross, of course, the first look at Argentina at Rallycross. We'll look forward to hearing your thoughts in just a moment. Petter Solberg on pole for semi-final number 1 with Backerud alongside him, all Norwegian affair on the front. Swedish second row, Kevin Eriksson, brilliant debut for him, and Anton Markland in the VW Polo. And on the back row, Andy Scott, another semi-final for him, and Miguel Baldoni, very, very popular with the local fans. Juan, great to see Baldoni make it through. That'll please them, won't it, in the grandstands?
Thank you, Andrew. I'm looking at a lot of people at the grandstands because by mid-morning, fortunately, the rain calmed down a little. What didn't calm down is the wind. It is very windy, but a lot of people at Sundays.
Looking forward to seeing semi-final number 1, as are we. Back of the grid, and it's a great start from Backerud and Eriksson as well. Eriksson's trying to come alongside Solberg, doesn't quite get it done. Backerud's going to try and get past Solberg down into turn 1, but he can't. Petter Solberg goes into the first turn first. He's got to get it stopped. The grip levels will have changed massively since the semi. Solberg side with Backerud. Eriksson's gone all the way to the back of the field. Andy Scott's gone through, so Baldoni. For Markland, it's absolutely crucial that Markland makes it through to the final. If he wants to make it the VW's fight all the way through to the end of this season, he's got to make it through. Look at the dust, Juan. It's totally different from this morning.
It's a
off at the side, Backerud off at the side of the road into the dirt. I don't know whether it was contact or not.
Probably there was contact, but as you said, it's very important and crucial what Marklund does with the Volkswagen, because it will be the only chance for the German brand to keep on the title fight.
So Markland has joked on lap 1. Obviously he decided he didn't want to be caught in that dust. We're seeing tactics very similar to yesterday. So if you saw some of the pictures and the footage from heats 1 and 2 yesterday, the dust was flying up, just incredible clouds of dust everywhere. You can see it in the background now. And it's so hard for the drivers to see where they're going. I think it's a little bit better than it was yesterday.
Yes, of course, and we were talking about dusty track now. That is what we would mention. I mean, rain has stopped, windy, the circuit is dry now, and it's dustier than before.
Now, it's a shorter semi-final than normal, so the drivers are going to really need to get those fast laps in. And Markland now is behind Andy Scott. Jokered with him, Andy jokered with him. Andy led a heat race earlier on today. It was a good drive from him, but Markland will be really keen to get through. They need to see both those cars through. We think the Toppy's engine is ready. We'll see him. Oh, Andy Scott spins. Andy Scott then spins. Markland ends up out in the dirt, but he's got past. It's going to have cost him dear, though. So the 3 cars that are ahead of him, Petter is absolutely miles out in front, but Backerud, Baldoni and Eriksson are in a train of 3, a couple of 100 metres up the road from these 2. There's Petter down at turn 1, turn 2 in fact. In the background we should see the other cars coming through in just a moment.
Petter seems to be in total control of the situation, leading this semi-final 1. It was important, as some other drivers said, to get to turn 1 in first position, and the Norwegian is showing and proving that.
He is indeed, as we said, new suspension on this car, but it's a development. He's been a weapon all year long, 4 wins so far. Can he take his 5th one here on top of a championship with another win? I think he'd like to do that. Looking at joker laps, Eriksson has jokered. Here comes Eriksson out the joker lap now. This is key with Markland. So Markland's behind him. So Eriksson is in front of Markland. Then Markland needs to get in front of Baldoni, Backerud or Solberg. He's got to make it through into that top 3. Currently sitting in 5th place. Last lap, remember, only 4 laps here. Heading down the front straight, front of all the grandstands. They'd love to see Baldoni go through.
It's a podium position in semi-final 1, and it's very important for him to do it, because that will cheer them.
Solberg into the joker lap. It's a very technical joker. It's quite slow. We've seen people come across, but just where Solberg's coming into now, he doesn't get it wrong. He did earlier on today, out towards the barrier in the middle of the track. He's just got 2 turns to go, but the important fight is slightly further back. I can see from the commentary position, Backerud has come out in front of Eriksson. I don't think Markland's going to go through. In fact, I think it's going to be Eriksson, the son of Andreas Eriksson, that's going to hold the VW out of the final. Let's see, though. Solberg books his place in the final of the year. The world champion is through. Backerud is coming round the last corner now, right in front of the commentary position. There he is. Backerud is in. Eriksson is in. Markland is out. So Kevin Eriksson will have pleased his father, the owner of Ford MSC, no end, because by securing 3rd place and booking his slot in the final, he has made sure that Anton Markland doesn't go through.
Okay, and that's news for Volkswagen, one of the manufacturers fighting for the team title, and Solberg proving once again why he is the new champion of the World Rally Series.
Solberg, Backerud and Ericsson, first, second, third. Markland, Baldoni and Andy Scott are out. But it's Markland there who's the key. Fans enjoyed that one. Enjoying slightly better weather now. The sun hasn't come out. It's very, very windy. But the rain this morning was just unbelievable. The difference in temperature from today and yesterday, incredible. Look at Solberg on the inside. Ericsson actually got a storming start from the second row. I'm interested to see what happened to Markland down in the first two corners as well, because it didn't go his way.
Ericsson's good start probably earned a final very good position in this semi-final, and a lot of contact then.
Markland almost looked like shoved into the back of Ericsson. And then in the back, okay, Baldoni up the inside of Backerud. Of course, Markland then went to the joke lab, was behind Andy Scott. Did that cost him? He wasn't that far behind Ericsson at the finish. It was just 1.4 seconds. So maybe not had his best weekend. This man, though, is having an absolute stunner again. You wouldn't bet against him in the final. He's going to be on the front row. Look at the way he moves that car around. Absolutely incredible. Andy Scott sideways as Markland pushes him round.
He didn't lose it completely after all.
No, he did. He held on, didn't he? He held on very well indeed. Solberg taking the flag. And this was Backerud and Ericsson coming over the line too. Neil Cole is with Pernilla Solberg.
Petter's quick, that's why he's world champion, but whatever you've done to that car, it's now streets ahead.
Yeah, it was a good start, and I think he got a good push. I think they were fighting a lot also behind, which also gave him a big gap there. So he had a good semi-final for sure.
And of course, he's not getting caught in any dust, he's just creating dust for everyone else.
Sorry, I had the radio on.
Dust isn't a problem for him because he's way out in front.
Yeah, I think that could be more problem for the others behind it. We saw again it's quite dusty now, but he was lucky. Are you in the front? You know you're safe. But we saw yesterday there was a lot of problem, not really a good and safe thing. But they've done a lot of work last night and also today to try and do as a good track as they can. So it's been much better today.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
Great performance from Petter Solberg, what we've come to expect. Pernilla looking confident up in the Ion Spotters Tower as well. Now, Neil did the rounds earlier on. He was down on the pre-grid and he caught up with another man who's in this fight for the team's title, Topi Heikkinen.
Topi, a huge effort from the team to change that engine in such a short amount of time. Talk us through what they did. Were you confident they would do it?
Yeah, they did a great job. They changed my engine, so I think it took 1.5 hours, so it was amazing. And big thanks to the Markland Motorsport and all the guys who do that. And yeah, let's looking forward. I think we can see a really good semi-final and final.
Now, as I understand it, that's the first time they've actually done an engine change at speed on an event, which is impressive under this much pressure.
Yeah, we're still having quite many engines left, and that's the point we are on a safe area at the moment. So. Yeah, they've made a really good job.
So now you can put the stress of the engine failure behind you and really focus on your semi-final. Talk us through what it's going to be like in this pack, especially with the drier conditions.
Yeah, it can be totally different than it was in the morning. So I think we're having a good speed in the dry, and let's see how the other guys doing over there. So, but then we need to be a little bit front of the Ford, so we need the points.
You need the points for the team's title, but from where you are, you may well hit some dust.
Yeah, there can be dust, but hopefully not. At the moment, it's quite wet. What's it called? Gravel sections. But yeah, let's see.
But the goal is for you or for the team?
I don't know. I just do my best, and let's see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think Topi there trying to avoid the pressure as best he can, but the pressure really is on him now. It won't be lost on him that Markland hasn't made it through in the first semi-final, and Andreas Backerud has. This is crucial. Semi-final number 2, Reinis Nittisch and Topi Heikkinen on the front row. That is the team's battle. Timmy Hansen and Timo Timosyanov, great showing by them for Peugeot. And on the back row, Manfred Stoll and Ollie O'Donovan. Ollie O'Donovan being on the back row of this one means that both the Albertech cars have made it through to the semi-finals for the first time this year. In fact, 5 of our 6 permanent teams have got both their cars in the semis. Good performances all round. Let's see who's got the best performance away from the line in this one. It's all about the battle on the front row. Reinis Nitish versus Topi Heikkinen. They're good to go. Manfred Stoll's on the handbrake. You can see the car squat down. It's a long, long hold. We've had a couple of these today, and they've aborted the start, I think. They've aborted the start, so we had a couple of these in the heats earlier on. We believe as well, we're hearing from the grid that possibly Timosyanov's car has a misfire. That's an onboard with Timmy Hansen. You can see the lights and where he is. The ready-to-race board has gone back up. The revs rise. Let's hope it doesn't catch anyone out. And again, it looks like an aborted start. So they've obviously got problems down at the start. Well, this is just adding to the pressure for Heikkinen and for Nitish on the front row. The guys don't want to see this. Heikkinen pushes his door open. Is he calling somebody over, or is he can't be calling himself off? It's absolutely freezing here today.
Third abort to the start of the day until now.
It is. Doesn't look like him who's jumped it. Heikkinen's jump start sensor does seem to be missing. Heikkinen didn't jump the start, did he? He hasn't moved. Look on the left-hand side. The ready-to-race board appears in a gap in the fence on the left-hand side. That's Tim Whittington walking across the grid towards timing. And he'll be inquiring as to why the start hasn't quite gone according to plan. Juan, this must be making the drivers really nervous.
It's a moment of total expectation. I suppose the heart rate is higher every time, because it's a moment of tension for all drivers to be there in the grid waiting to start the real action.
There's Toppy's spotter up on the Ion Spotters tower. You can see they haven't even had time to clean Toppy's car because they've been working so hard on getting the engine changed in time. Okay, Topi Heikkinen, the jump start sensor is now up in front of his car. You might have noticed that was lying down just a few seconds ago, which is why I was concerned as to whether or not he'd jumped the start. It's the small white stick which sticks up from the floor. It's 12 centimetres in front of the car, and that tells me if they jumped it. It could have been blown over, to be honest. The wind is so strong here, it's unbelievable. That was Kenneth Hansen as well, looking down on his two cars. It'd be nice for them to make it through to the final. Timosyanov carrying the number 1 on his car for the last time. So that'll be headed to Peter Solberg next season.
Have you seen them in Argentina? All along the weekend almost, the Belgians went together.
Sorry, I've just had a message come through. Manfred Stoll jumped the start. So Manfred Stoll has triggered a jump start. There we go, that's what it was.
Yes.
So Stoll at the back of the grid. I did say that his car had squatted down on one of those two starts, so maybe he was holding it on the handbrake and it just crept a little bit too far forward. Car's being put back into position now.
Still getting used, probably. Let's remember that Manfred is having his debut in Argentina.
He's done well, to be fair, making the semi-finals. Yep. But here we go, right, again, it's the front row fight. Heikkinen versus Nitish. And this time they get away clean. It's a drag race down to turn 1. Heikkinen's engine is an old one, but it seems to have plenty of grunt. Him and Nitish side by side, heading down towards the braking zone, but it's Nitish who's got it. Heikkinen slots in behind him. He's early on the brakes. One of the two Peugeot Hansens is behind it. I think it's Ollie O'Donovan as well. Looks like he's up into 4th place. Stoll and a spin in the background. So one of the two Peugeots is spun. It's Timosyanov. Timosyanov spins down in turn 1, so the Russian's lost it.
The Russian has lost a lot of opportunity here. He did not have a good start, but Nitish did.
Heikkinen straight to the joker lap. So Heikkinen's in 2nd place, doesn't want to sit in the dirt, and he's just gone. Great move.
Great move, and also a great move by Nitish in the start, because he's now leading.
Sorry, Juan. Stoll, I think, ran into the back of Hansen. You can see the damage on the back of Hansen's car. Hansen had control of that, and I think Stoll just gave him a little bit of a tap. Timmy won't like that. He's getting a bit more bullish. Timmy is straight back up the inside. Have some of that, Manfred. Oh, it's contact all the way through the last corner. Goodness me, and now a race down the straight. That's Petter's car from last year, but Timmy Hansen's absolutely blown him away. Now breaks him down into turn 1, and he's through. So the two that have joked then, Heikkinen and O'Donovan. Oh, Stoll up the inside, pile straight through a pile of tyres as well. Okay, so Manfred Stoll, we've been told, won't be doing 2 jokes. Apparently it was a fault with the jump start system, and that's Timosyanov, surely. Timosyanov's out. Oh, Stoll's turned Hansen round. Surely he's turning round. Has Hansen gone into the joker lap? I wasn't sure.
Huge fight between the Stoll and the other guy. Impressive, I mean.
And a spin. So we've had a spin as well on the far side. This is Toppy then, coming around to the left. That wasn't Nitish that spun in front of him, was it? No, Nitish has just come across the start-finish. Nitish has just come past the start-finish line. Hard for us to see what's going on with all the dust in the air. But Heikkinen has to make it through to the final. It's going to be a big ask for him anyway, because at the minute it looks like it's going to be 2 Fords versus 1 VW.
A lot of things happened in just a few first meters of the race here. It's impressive.
So Stoll then is out. I'm afraid he's run into the back of Hansen too many times there. I'm sure there'll be arguments about whose fault that was.
So there are quite a few shuttle cars until now, huh?
Here's Nitish. I think he's in the Joker lap, he is. So Nitish coming through, has to mind the barrier on the exit, but he's well clear. Nitish is well clear of Heikkinen. Heikkinen must be a good few seconds back, so he's looking very, very strong for Fordo MSE. They led by 2 points after intermediate classification. I think that come from the first semi where Backerud went through and Heikkinen did, Markman did, but they now lead by 4, and this will extend the lead again by another point if they go through in the order which they're in. So it'll be a 5-point lead, that put them in a strong position.
It's a very interesting pace, the one that had Reinis Nitish in this race. Very good job by the Eastern Europe driver.
49.3 seconds for Nitish. He is absolutely flying. As we say, bear in mind that the only laps they've done today have been wet. Suddenly they're out in the dry. It's a good effort.
Yeah, very good effort and good pace, as we said. We're on board.
On board with him now. Get an idea of the amount of effort. Just little inputs here and there. Some wonderful shots yesterday from high up, looking down into Nitish's car. You could see him working the car away. This is what Fordo MSE needed him to do. He's going to come through to take the win in semi-final number 2. Just the last right-hander to go. He's pulling the gears. Heikkinen's going to go through with him, and I think Hansen in 3rd. So Nitish then in 1st. It is Heikkinen in 2nd. Hansen rounds out the top 3 despite all those bits of contact with Stoll. He was still in touch. And O'Donovan is coming around to make it through in 4th.
With this result, Ford MSE is doing very good business as a team, and Nitish is doing very good business as a driver for 2nd place overall in the championship.
I'm renowned for not great maths live on air, but as I say, I think it'll be 5-point lead now. So Neil Cole is with Kenneth Hansen.
Your drivers, talk us through the 2 different stories.
Yeah, Timur had some problem with the boost just before the start, so he was not able to push or do anything directly. And it's a tricky circuit. Timmy finished 3rd, so we are happy with that, but we have struggled to get the pace on this track. So we didn't really find the setup that was good, but we'll try to do some adjustment and go back for the final now.
Do you think Timmy was surprised to have Manfred Stoll sort of nudging him?
I think so. He was a little hard, I think, over there, but that's rallycross sometime.
Kenneth knows that's rallycross. He's a 14 times champion. I'm fairly sure he might have dished out a few bits of contact himself over the years. Here's the result, semi-final number 2, Reinis Nitish, Toppy Heikkinen and Timmy Hansen going through, Ollie O'Donovan and Manfred Stoll heading out with Timmers Yarnov. The grid for the final then, Petter Solberg and Reinis Nitish on row 1. Row 2, Andreas Backerud and Toppy Heikkinen, the sole VW trying against the might of Ford. They've got 3 cars in the final, Kevin Eriksson and Timmy Hansen on the back row. Timmers Yarnov then waiting to be recovered. Sounds like he had a problem with the car. Here's a look at the replays from semi-final number 2. Stoll hit Hansen directly off the start.
Closed the line a little and had that contact, which is pretty natural, it seems, in this series, and it makes part of the great fun that the Rallycross Championship has.
So we saw there, O'Donovan came round wide, Timmers Yarnov came in, and it's like he got out on the dust there and spins the car. It's twice there that Timmers Yarnov was over-rotated, but Kenneth said he had a problem with the boost, so maybe he couldn't pull the car straight.
Yeah, these guys push hard over there, not so far from the wall actually, brave men,
Look
until hitting their whole
just,
set of tyres. Yeah.
That's going to break a car, isn't it? I'm afraid running through a pile of 12 car tyres is never a good thing to do with any car. Of course, the radiators for rallycross cars are in the back, so you can hit the occasional thing, but I think you hit a bit too much. My word, bits hanging off everyone's cars here. It's a good job it's the end of the season. They all need a visit to the body shop.
There will be a lot of work to do in the bodyworks of these cars.
There will. Nitish takes the win. Heikkinen was 2nd, as we know. Hansen in 3rd. So good stuff in semi-final number 2. Ford hold the advantage. Can Heikkinen stop them? Timosyanov then needs to be recovered. Shame for him.
Yeah, another year to remember, like last year when the championship was not full status, but he was European champion, which was the best
two
he
years
could
in
do.
a row, 12 and 13, he was champion, and yeah,
impressive. But this time he has not been so lucky. But there were tough rivals to beat this year as well.
Timosyanov just having a little look inside the car. That number 1 on the windscreen, that's the last time he'll see it. He'll be disappointed, I'm sure. There's no doubting the Russian's pace, though. Here's a look at some of the action from semi-final number 2. Again, down into turn 1. Nitish and Heikkinen out front. Nitish did a good job there, didn't he? It was just a really clean start and away. No one really challenged him from that point on, and the lap times for Juan were absolutely fantastic, as we say.
I think probably one of the best lap times during the weekend, because the circuit has reached quite a good level. I mean, it's not too dry despite the dust hanging in the air for a while, and it's not too wet, so probably this helps a lot in fast laps.
Hansen, I thought, did really well. After all this contact with Stoll, you could think that he could get a bit cross, he could become distracted, but actually he still managed to make it through in third, and quite close to the guys in front. Okay, I mean, Nitish was 3.4 clear, but Hansen was only 1.2, I think 2.2 seconds back from Heikkinen.
He had done so well in Italy not so long ago when he won for the first time that probably people in Argentina following the World Rallycross Championship was expecting more of these cars which are popular here.
They are indeed. Lots of European interest down in Argentina in terms of cars. That's why, of course, the championships come down here. The manufacturers want to be here and the fans want to see it as well. That was a spin down in the centre of the circuit. Heikkinen after his joker. This is the long right-hander that the drivers have really been enjoying. Onto the start-finish straight. Basically, they've got plenty of room on the exit. They can really gun the car. The wall over on the right-hand side, you can see, is fairly close. A couple of people came close to it this morning in the wet.
Yeah, it went close, but nobody hit it so far, and I hope it is still like this in the future.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Manfred Stoll there, retiring. Hansen with a very battered 2.8. They'll need to do a bit of work on that because he's going to be appearing in the final, and that will be coming up very shortly indeed. You can see how windy it is here in Argentina. Our commentary box is a little shelter on top of a cabin down, you can see it in fact in the middle of the shot right now above the curb. We've got it firmly anchored down. I thought it was going to blow away this morning. It has absolutely been blowing a gale. Really hot yesterday and then really wet, cold and windy today. We've had all sorts of weather all year long. It's been a brilliant season. Let's have a look back at some of the action. Solberg wins in Portugal, the first man to win a round of the World Rallycross Championship. Brilliant. He's going to have a launch on the inside. Contact between Petter and Tanu. It's a win for Becker, and he must be pleased with that. Ken Block, massive crowd pleaser. Who takes his first win. A fantastic job by him. Any contact here? Hansen's up the inside. Hansen over. Hansen's over in the 208. He's upside down.
1 minute here.
third win in a row.
World Rally Champion 2003 and World Rallycross Champion 2014.
Unreal, isn't it?
Well, it's not been a bad season, has it, so far? Hope you enjoyed that. Neil Cole is down on the grid, and he's with the two chaps you can see on the right, Rainis Nitish and Timmy Hansen.
First of all, Timmy, did you expect to find yourself in a battle with Manfred Stoll there? I mean, you came out on top, but...
Yeah, that was the toughest battle I've ever been to. He drove so ugly and he hit me so many times. Not just hit me, but he tried to turn me around, and I had full throttle. And I had full throttle and full lock several times, but I made it, came out on top, now final.
We're just going to follow you, Rainis, as you get helmeted up. What's the thoughts going into this final?
This final, I want to and get fun, you know. It's always like this. I'm not thinking about the results, nothing. Just fun, smile in my face, and yeah. Big boom. Yeah, thank you.
Well, Nitish seeming relaxed. I think him and Bakkerud know it's playing into their hands at the moment. It is a 5-point lead at the moment for Solberg's Ford IMSE from VW Markland. And it was great to have a little look back at the season so far. Juan, it's pretty spectacular, isn't it, Rallycross? It must be nice to bring it to your home country.
And I was amazed to take a look at that video clip. I mean, Rallycross is now for us synonymous of so much action, so many things happen in the first ever World Rallycross Championship that it's unbelievable. Absolutely. And Argentina is no exception, because there has happened so many things so far in the 2 days of activity here.
Great reaction as well, wasn't it, when they went downtown on when was it, Thursday night, I think, when it was packed.
Yeah, in the main town with square park full of people watching the cars being exhibited there. It was great too.
Peter Solberg getting his crash helmet on and ready to go. Points at the moment, as I said, it is a 5-point lead, but it's 397 to Ford MSC and 392 to VW Markland. 2 cars in the final for Ford. Well, there are 2 official cars plus Kevin Eriksson. Now, Kevin Eriksson can play a part here, not in any bad way. I wouldn't expect him to do anything underhand, but likewise to have 3 cars in the final and only the 1 car from VW with a 5-point lead. You know, really, Ford would have to retire, and it would need then for you know, Häkkinen to go on and win it.
Yeah, well, it was never a simple situation. In previous races this morning, Volkswagen had it tough when Häkkinen all of a sudden stopped his Polo. Now we don't know what happens with Peugeot right at the moment.
So Neil Cole is back on the spotters tower, and he's with Toppy's team.
So a huge effort from the team, and you, because you were doing the repair as well to get the engine fixed. He's in the final now, but has he got a mountain to climb for the team's championship?
Yeah, I think that this will be the most toughest championship you know, fight ever. So, but we will see how it will be going final, and of course we aim for the win. And it was perfect job from everyone in the team to get the new engine on the car and get the car back in the track, and also get the 2nd place from the semi-final. And of course now Topi already has claimed the 2nd place in the championship, so we are also of course really happy of that. But now still we need to fight everything for the team's championship.
Thank you very much, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Toppy's spotter thinks that Häkkinen is 2nd and guaranteed 2nd in the championship, so they've been doing their maths on that. We're focusing entirely on the team's championship for obvious reasons, but Häkkinen will be relieved to hold on to his 2nd place. Nitish is 3rd, Hansen 4th, Bakkerud 5th coming into this final round of the year. So there's 1 podium spot up for grabs. Is it going to be Nitish, Hansen or Bakkerud? There's Hansen. His right hand is up on the side of the seat because that's the radio talk button, so he can talk to the spotters. Häkkinen pulls the VW up onto row 2 of the grid. Bakkerud is inside him, I think. Front row, of course, Solberg and Nitish. Lining up the final cars now. Timmy Hansen pulling onto the rear of the grid. Here is the final lineup for the final round of the World Rallycross Championship 2014. Petter Solberg, the champion, is on pole with Reinis Nittisch alongside him. Row 2, Andreas Backerud and Topi Heikkinen. And row 3, Kevin Eriksson in the final on his debut in a supercar, and Timmy Hansen. It's going to be exciting. Teams Championship gets decided now. Who would have thought that it would go down to the very last laps of the championship? It's been that close. Ford and VW have been on equal points, exactly equal points, twice this year. At one point, Ford held an absolutely massive lead. On the way into Belgium it was. And then they had a disaster there, and VW outscored them. 40 points was the deficit. Made it up. It's been tight for the rest of the year. It comes down to this. It's 2 Fords versus 1 VW. Here we go. It's the final of the year. Solberg versus Nittisch on the front row. Great start by both of them, but Heikkinen's on an absolute flyer. Heikkinen trying to come all the way around the outside and do the business for VW. He's going to get hung out to dry. Surely backwards up his inside as well. Heikkinen then slots into 3rd place. Petter Solberg is in the lead. You're on board with Heikkinen. That gives you a good idea of what they can see. He's on a mission. He's having a look up the inside of Nittisch. Petter's out front, but Heikkinen in behind Nittisch. Great start by him.
Absolutely, but you can see there Solberg is trying to push in the lead again like he did in previous races, and there is a possibility that he can succeed in getting a new victory here and win as a champion in Argentina in the last round of the championship.
Petter Solberg wins the final Monster Energy Supercharge Award. Heikkinen has gone directly into the Joker lap. That leaves a train of 3 Fords out on the standard lap, so they've gone for different tactics, and Ford, who often split their tactics, have gone the same this way. Solberg leading after lap 1. Over the finish line comes Nittisch, Backerud, Eriksson, who is just, I'm so impressed with this weekend. And Timmy Hansen now is all over the back of Eriksson, so Hansen in the Peugeot. Solberg down into turn 1. See the fans in the background, the dust is just flying up everywhere. It's in the commentary box. Solberg over the little hump. He's just got 2 laps to go, and he can sign off his World Championship year with another win. He'd love that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, he said before the event that he came here not to lose anything, but to prove that he wanted to end the season in a style as a champion in the region.
Are Ford going to be champions, though, or is it going to be VW? Solberg just so impressive. He's made the changes to the car, and he was so far, he's been absolutely brilliant this year. You know, we must just take our hat off to him. Champion with 2 rounds still to go. He won it in Italy, Turkey and Argentina. He's been very, very relaxed, and I think that's helped him, if anything. On board with Reinis Nittisch now. Nittisch currently in 2nd place. The only people to have jokered are Hansen and Heikkinen. Hansen maybe jokered to get out from behind Eriksson. I think Eriksson maybe would have been holding him up. So he's decided that he's wanted to go early. Only 2 laps to go, remember, a 4-lap final here. Solberg looking incredibly strong.
With Baldoni unable to go to the finals, for the locals, a win by Petter Solberg would be popular because he came to Argentina 13 times in his previous experience.
So we should see a big cheer. Oh, it's a spin there. It's a spin on the inside. That's one of the. Was that one of the 2 MSC cars? It looked like a spin. I think that was a spin from Backerud.
Yeah,
Backerud went into the Joker lap and ended up out on the standard lap, so I don't know what will happen with that. Solberg over the finish line, continuing to lead. Then we've got Nittisch, we've got Eriksson, Backerud, Heikkinen. Okay, and the order at the end of the lap, then Heikkinen, Backerud, Hansen at the back. Hansen is at the back of the field, trying to keep up with the timing screens, and the cars coming by as well. Solberg moves the car around. He's just got 3/4 of a lap to go. Slightly concerned as to what will happen with Backerud, as to whether or not he gets told off for not completely finishing off the Joker lap. We'll see, but I still think it will be enough, even if he ends up further down, because at the minute Nittisch is in front of Heikkinen. So even if they disqualify Backerud and he gets 0, it's not going to make any difference. But this is it. It's the end of the World Rallycross Championship for 2014. Heikkinen now is right up behind Nittisch. He's going to come through in 3rd place, but it's the World Rallycross champion, Petter Solberg, who takes his 5th win of the season. He signs off in style. Over the finish line comes Reinis Nittisch, and then Eriksson. Heikkinen's gone backwards. Hansen's going to come across the line in 4th place, and Ford are going to be the champions of the Teams Championship of 2014. It's decided, it's gone their way. Heikkinen couldn't do anything on his own. Brilliant job by Kevin Eriksson to get a podium, third place on his debut in a supercar. Absolutely fantastic. Ford MSC are going to be partying tonight, and so is Petter Solberg. The world champion takes the final win of the year, and Ford are going to be lifting the team's trophy. Well, the crowd are pleased with that one, Juan. You thought they would be?
That I told you, a lot of people cheering and celebrating because his well-known Petter Solberg has won once again in Argentina. So, like he always did.
Hanging out the side of the car.
Open door and saying hello to everybody.
It's confirmation of the final result of the year. Petter Solberg taking his 5th win of the season. Reinis Nittisch second. Kevin Eriksson with a stunning podium on his debut. Hansen is 4th. Heikkinen did his very best off the start line. It looked like he might be able to help VW in the fight for the title, but it was too much with 3 Fords in there. Backward finishing in 6th place. Neil's up on the Arms Spotters Tower with Pernilla Solberg.
Pernilla, how much does it mean to you and Petter and the team to win again and win in Argentina?
It means a lot, and especially Argentina, because it means a lot to Petter to be here. You know, since the rally days, it's one of his favorite countries to travel to and to be in. So it means tremendous to be winning here, and also the final event of the year is just wonderful. So good.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Pernilla very pleased, and Solberg there with his most recent celebration, which is the hanging out of the side of the car donut.
One of the things that I like to underline is the result by Nittisch and Eriksson. Brilliant podiums for them.
Absolutely fantastic. This was Heikkinen, look, on the way down to turn 1. Well, the banners are out. There are banners coming past the commentary position now, which they've had made up. World Championship banners are heading down towards the podium, which is where all the fans are heading now. Solberg, an absolutely brilliant season. Nearly won half the events. He's won on 3 out of the 4 continents we visited. Only missed out in Asia, in Turkey. Been a brilliant, brilliant job. The first ever World Rallycross champion takes the final win of the year here in Argentina. Heikkinen, a little bit of contact there. That was him having a look up the inside of Eriksson. Now, I don't know what happened after that, because Eriksson managed to come back and got himself into 3rd place. But nobody could stop Petter. 5 out of 12. That's why he's the world champion. Well, Solberg, got to get a bit of perspective on this, haven't we? 5 out of 12 wins. The only other person to win twice this year was Andreas Backerud, so dominant performance.
Very dominant, consider that he's got 5 wins, as you clearly said, and the other winners of the seasons were Andreas Backerud with 2, so less than half, then Topi Heikkinen with 1, just like Reinis Nittisch, Timmy Hansen, Matthias Ekström and Danner Faust complete the list of winners in the season. But it's 5-2 the following drivers, so a big difference in terms of wins.
And 2 different halves to the season as well. The first half of the season we had 6 races, 6 different winners. Second half of the season, only 2 different winners. It was basically the Petter and Backerud show, pretty much, apart from Hansen. 3 winners, okay, in the second half of the season.
Another thing that I find particularly interesting is that, I mean, Solberg was the dominant force as a driver, but not as a team. Ford is the champion team now, so that is good too.
Solberg certainly, I mean, he had Alexander Wahl, of course, in the car earlier on in the year. He's had a couple of guest drivers in there in the meantime. Terry Grant, stunt driver who was here entertaining the crowds on Thursday night, did a fantastic job. Congratulating Petter Solberg. Petter will be really pleased. He's wearing gold racing boots here. Per Espen, Petter's PR man. Andreas Backerud hasn't got a hat. He's got to borrow one off one of the team. Hasn't got the right hat with him. So Backerud, and what about Kevin Eriksson? That's a brilliant performance.
Yeah, a podium in his debut in the super category is really remarkable by the Swede, with a red and black Ford Fiesta. Has done very well all weekend long here.
Nittisch into Park Ferme. Hugs all round for Petter. Petter congratulating Kevin as well. See Neil Cole, our pit reporter, right down in the midst of all the action. The fans are absolutely crowded straight down to the podium, haven't they? Look how pleased Ford are as well. Got the job done.
Second place for Nittisch is also very good.
More hats being handed out. I don't think either Nitish or Bakkerud had got the right hat in the car. They've both stolen hats off somebody else.
Win the podium, huh?
Podium is ready to receive the winners of the year. We'll see the results from today, from the Teams Championship and from the Drivers' Championship as well. So all the winners from the first ever season of the FIA World Rallycross Championship about to get up onto their steps. Neil Colt is with our 5-time winner, Petter Solberg.
Petter, what an incredible, perfect way to end an almost perfect season. World champion, and you win in Argentina.
This was actually surprisingly well, to be honest with you. It's maybe 40% of the new development of the car for next year, and I came here. We built and made the things now before the start, and okay, I was not happy on the first practice, but then we have developed things all the way, and on the gravel now it's unbelievable. You know, we just pull off meters massively, and that was really surprising. It looks good for next year, basically.
This year, congratulations, well done.
Oh, thank you. Very, very pleased. So thanks to all the team and everybody. You know, thank you. Thank you.
Great job by Petter Solberg.
It's quite important what he said in this interview by Neil Colt.
Petter Solberg, champion. He was champion after 10 rounds, but after 12, look at the gap at the top. Solberg on 282, Heikkinen 221, Nitish on 210. That is the podium of the year. It didn't change from the last round, so Solberg, Heikkinen and Nitish taking the top 3 podium positions for the Drivers' Championship in 2014. Here they are, heading up onto the podium for the final time this year. To Solberg, looking dominant, really dominant this season. He says it's 40% of the development for next year, but Petter always likes to say there's less development than there really is, or more development than there really is. He's very, very good at the mind games. He doesn't really need to play any, to be honest. He's been an outstanding driver this year, a deserved champion, I think. He came last year to the European Championship, couldn't win at all in the World Championship. Won the first round outside Europe. He's won the first Argentinian RX event. You know, it's just been a season of firsts. Here's another one, first place for him in Argentina, and of course first place for him in the World Rallycross Championship.
Experience paid off also, like the experienced driver, professional driver that he is, well, champion here.
Look at everybody, phones in the air, trying to just get that moment, and there it is. Solberg's the winner.
In front of a massive crowd there.
It is indeed, everybody headed down to greet him. Champagne time for the guys. Solberg throwing shoes, hats, sunglasses, and whatever else it is into the crowd. I think driving gloves. Champagne shower time. Kevin Eriksson, brilliant job by him. First time for him, champagne down the neck in a supercar.
It's interesting to see this mix in this podium, the experience of Solberg and the youngsters already doing very, very well in the sport, like Nitish and Eriksson.
Great job, great job. Neil Colt is with the winning team, Ford OMSE.
Well, congratulations, you are the first World Rallycross Champions teams title holders. How does it feel?
It feels great.
It feels amazing!
It feels great. These guys, I have a heart attack because
Hey!
it was...
It's legal with a kiss, isn't it?
Oh, no. Okay, settle down. Everything been a great year. We started really well, everything was fine, and I thought really this going well. And then Andrea started to do full starts every race, and Nita gets a little nervous. But now they're back in the game again, and I'm really proud over this race because I told them I really need points, I need a good performance, and hey, they did it. So I'm really grateful to be in this position. And Jussi Pinomäki should be here because he's actually the team manager for the team. But you know, I'm the proud dad in the background. I'm so happy.
Okay, well done. Thank you.
Well, proud dad in more than one way today because his son Kevin Eriksson is on the podium and his two adopted sons have taken the title for Ford OMSE. 403 points to 394. It was very, very close between Ford and VW all season long, but it is Ford who take the title. He's pleased, isn't he? And rightly so.
Yeah, and he should be. I was taking a look at the graphics and seeing that in the team's championship final point standings, the first top 4 places are 4 different manufacturers.
Yeah,
interesting.
Fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Up onto the podium they go. Andreas Eriksson has managed to find Jussi Pinomäki as well, the team manager. Backward and Nitish are up there. They're lifting backward aloft. And Nitish too, rightly so. 1 win for Nitish, 2 wins for Backward. One of the youngest and most dynamic driver pairings, I think, in the championship. There is the trophy for them. For the first time ever, we have a World Rallycross champion in the teams. And it is Ford OMSE. Really, everybody's so pleased. A massive relief for them.
These Ford Fiestas came to Argentina having tried something in the traction.
It was the VWs. VWs did the
oh,
traction
sorry,
test,
I was confused. It was the Polos rather than the Fiestas.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them, but it was so close between them all year long. So close. Hats off. They weren't even their hats. They've just thrown somebody else's hat off into the crowd. Backer sprays the champagne. What's he supposed to? He's not sure. He's been told to get off. Somebody else's champagne as well. Backer is just ruining it for everyone else.
Happy
Champions,
people
so
there.
a big
Happy
relief,
people, yeah.
big relief for them. Well, finally, I believe, up onto the podium, we're going to see the top 3 drivers in the World Rallycross Championship. Don't forget, this is the first ever season of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Solberg has been the champion for a couple of rounds. There is the beautiful trophy. Been lucky enough to get my hands on that a few times. It's absolutely stunning. Made by the same people who make the FA Cup, which is the football cup in the UK. It's a lovely, lovely trophy. And Petter Solberg is the first man to hold it aloft, the World Rallycross champion.
We are spectating a little piece of history in motorsport because of what you said. First ever World Rallycross Championship just finishing today, Saturday, in Argentina.
Very lucky, aren't we? And Solberg, of course, also the first man to win an FIA World Championship in 2 different disciplines. Brilliant job by him. On his knees, over the moon. Possibly have a few beers tonight, I would have thought.
A beer or 2.
I'm sure he will, I'm sure he will. My thanks to Juan for being with us this weekend. I hope you've enjoyed your first experience of Rallycross. It's been brilliant to have you alongside.
You bet, you bet. I enjoyed every single moment.
Here's a look at the action from Rallycross in Argentina. Manfred Stoll in Petter Solberg's second car. Contact here and there through the weekend. It was all about that fight between VW and Ford. Solberg running off the road this morning in the wet and the mud. Didn't stop him from taking the top qualifying position though. A few people cutting a few corners here and there. Manfred Stoll was dishing out the dirt later on in the day. Looks like he had contact with Andy Scott. He seems to be attracted to all the 208s. Visibility yesterday was because of the dust, today because of the wet. That was when Häikkönen's engine let go. He climbed out the car. It didn't really make the difference in the end. They got the engine changed. He made it through to the semis. They just got beaten by Ford when it counted at the final round of the year. Petter Solberg testing stuff for next year. You couldn't bet against him, could you? Martin giving Andy Scott there a cheeky little tap. But this man, 5 out of 12 wins. Only man to win more than twice. It's been a brilliant, brilliant job. Manfred Stoll destroying Petter's other car. They're all about to head back on a boat and back across to Europe to get prepared for next year. I really, really hope you've enjoyed the FIA World Rallycross Championship as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. It's been a great pleasure to watch this man, his incredible car control, his attention to detail this season has made the difference. That's why he's managed to take the first ever FIA World Rallycross Championship. Ford were the ones who picked up the title this weekend, of course. Our final title, we've crowned European champions, world champion drivers, manufacturer champions as well. We're going to do it all again in 2015. I very much hope that you'll be there to join us. It's been a wonderful, wonderful first season of the FIA World Rallycross Championship, and what a way to sign it off. We'll see you soon.